Don't go with the flow when it comes to choosing your husband. Some men sweet talk you in the early stages to get you emotionally invested and attached before revealing their true colors. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be speaking on the standards of a high value woman and how to attract a high value man. Love is the most romantic component of a marriage, but the least reliable. Love won't carry a marriage, principles will. Only faith, values, and discipline can sustain a marriage, which is why you must look for character, not chemistry. Don't choose your lifelong partner with your feelings. Find them with your soul. Firstly, I'd like to state that I'm not speaking from the perspective of somebody in a relationship. I'm speaking as a woman who has done the work to know her value, set her standards, and move with intention. This is simply the standard I set in my current pursuit of finding a husband. Now, most people can agree that you attract what you put out. God says in the Quran, evil women are for evil men, and evil men are for evil women. Good women are for good men, and good men are for good women. This is why it is critical that you become aware of your shortcomings and improve your habits and lifestyle. If you are someone who lives with discipline, prays consistently, cares for your health, and strives to better yourself inwardly and outwardly, then it's only natural to desire a partner who reflects that same energy and effort. It's not about perfection, but about actively working on yourself. It's also important to be honest with yourself. Are you embodying what you're asking for? Before you project your standards onto somebody else, take a moment to reflect on where you stand. It's important that you work towards eliciting high value behavior in order to attract what's best for your future. Additionally, some of us may tend to feel this rush to find a partner, but we fail to come to terms with the fact that we may not be in the most ideal place to take on this next chapter. Consider this. Maybe God is keeping you single to build you into your dream self so you can align with a partner who matches your dream future. Now, what is high value behavior? First, it is to move with intention. Being intentional means not acting on impulse. Rather than emotion based decisions, each choice made aligns with your goals, values, and vision. When you act solely on emotion and impulse, it may cause you to overlook red flags and choose someone based on temporary feelings instead of long term alignment. That leads to the next trait, which is to guard your energy. It's important to be protective of your presence, which ties into intention. Choosing to be selective with your time, attention, and emotional access makes your presence more meaningful, which signals high value, which then leads to the next behavior, which is to limit external validation. Society has conditioned us to base our decisions on the need to please others and seek their approval, but we have to unlearn that. One of the most powerful ways to break free from external validation is to seek approval from only one source, your Creator, God. Once you decenter the opinions of others and validation of the opposite gender, you have more strength to avoid compromising your values to keep others interested in you. If you're in a state of mind where you're seeking male validation, you may lower your standards due to your fear of being alone. You must grow your limiting belief to get to a point where you trust that someone who is truly right for you will be drawn to the strength and sincerity of the woman you've become. Next is to carry self respect. Now, how do you do this? Self respect means having healthy boundaries. It's the strength of not continuing on a path where people fall below your non negotiable standards. Self respect should not be confused with pride or arrogance. It is cultivated through doing the work to confidently state your values so that you don't entertain connections that conflict with them. When a person sweet talks you, shows you inconsistent behaviors, or reveals traits that misalign with your faith or long term vision, self respect is what allows you to take a step back without hesitation. An insecure man who is only engaging with you for the vibes may find you cold, but truthfully, you are just clear on what you're looking for. Just a little bit of respect. Don't lower your standards for anyone or anything. Self respect is everything. An anonymous quote mentioned in How to Be a Hepburn in a Kardashian World by Christy. She explains that though it may not seem like it at times, many guys prefer a smart, self respecting girl they could take home to their moms. One of my close guy friends even told me most guys aren't actually interested in cheap girls. He went on to disclose that while they might be fun for a while, they will probably never make it home to mom. because guys ultimately want an interesting girl who can hold an intelligent conversation. If you're desiring to have a guy respect you, the best way is to show him you're worthy of respect. Make him work for you. You're worth the work. If he's a winner, he will gladly jump through any and all hoops you put up for him. She states that the truth of balance between femininity and masculinity, which is that women don't chase, men are natural born hunters. She furthers this notion with a quote by John Eldridge in his book, Wild at Heart, Discovering the Secret of a Man's Soul. Deep in his heart, every man longs for a battle to fight, an adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue. Now, the last trait which ties us all together is to build and believe in your value. Instead of focusing on finding a partner, redirect your focus towards working on your goals and building your future. As you improve your character and lifestyle, God's plan will unfold at His perfect timing. The right person will come at the right time. So make sure that you don't settle for the first man that gives you attention. Embodying these high value traits naturally deters immature, unintentional, and non committal men who do not align with yourself and your future. So now let's get into the standards, the non-negotiables. The traits that I'll be speaking about go both ways. You can't demand these traits without actively embodying them yourself. The first trait, which is arguably in my opinion the most important, is a man focused on faith, whose priority is to please his Lord, and whose intention is to better himself for the afterlife. A key trait most people look for when analyzing someone's character and considering them as a romantic partner is loyalty. Now, the future is unpredictable. People change and loyalty can fluctuate. A man who commits to you purely out of emotion may love you deeply, but when challenges arise or his feelings shift, that love can weaken, following with his loyalty. But a man who is first committed to God holds himself to a higher standard. His actions aren't just based on his feelings towards you, but on his responsibility to obey God and how he loves, leads, and treats you. When a man's love for you is rooted in his love for God, his loyalty runs deeper than the moment or his mood, because to stray from you would mean straying from the values he upholds before God. Men who fear God and aim to please him don't just think about how their actions affect you, they think about how those actions reflect in the eyes of God. But this responsibility isn't just his alone. As a woman, you must also anchor your life in faith, making sure that your connection to God is strong, consistent, and at the heart of the home that you are building together. In the figure presented, you can see a triangular diagram. To translate this for you, it basically means that the closer a husband and wife are to God, the closer they will be. If you are both far from God and at the lower end of the pyramid, then there will be more distance between the two of you. However, the opposite is also true. If each of you are individually closer to God and towards the top of the pyramid, then there will be less space between the two of you. Next is self-discipline. Of course, no one's perfect, but it's about your intention and effort towards mastering that trait. Discipline and self-control go hand in hand. Just as you are working towards leading with intention over emotion, ideally you want a man who exhibits that trait. Now the next is patience. A man who can remain calm and react with patience and gentleness, in comparison to impulsivity and anger. Patience is key for each party in order to maintain stability throughout a marriage. Next, we have emotional maturity. A man should not dismiss your concerns. Communication paired with mutual understanding is a necessary foundation for a healthy relationship. Feeling unheard will only fuel resentment and tension down the line. Now, here's a common question. Are looks important? Physical attraction is necessary to feel connected. However, looks don't overpower or substitute a person's character, values, or behavior. We should be mindful not to chase unrealistic ideals or expect perfection. Remember, you're not searching for a model. You're looking for a partner in deen, life, and growth. So remember that true beauty lies in how someone treats you, their sincerity with God, and how their presence brings you peace. Additionally, attraction is built on your compatibility to somebody's personality, their values, and their behaviors. Physical appearance is only one aspect of attraction. What truly creates connection is deeper and often shaped by how somebody carries themselves and treats you. At the end of the day, beauty is subjective, just like every trait that contributes to compatibility. To sum it all up, it's about being drawn to someone who embodies both inner and outer beauty in a way that clicks with you. The last topic I'll be touching on is when to walk away. I live by the phrase stand on business because I know my worth and who is worthy of my time, presence, and energy. When approached by potential partners, it's important to stay vigilant and reevaluate when any concerns arise. As soon as I catch on to something which doesn't align with my values, lifestyle, or boundaries, the consideration for that person is immediately over. This may sound harsh to people who aren't confident in their values and self worth. Upkeeping healthy boundaries will ensure you deter any men with unsuitable intentions. Some men sweet talk you in the early stages to get you emotionally invested and attached before revealing their true colors, which is why being firm in your boundaries and clear in your intentions from the start is absolutely essential to protect your self respect. A word of advice: say goodbye before he makes you cry. Ladies, we do not have time to become emotionally invested in men who do not match our energy, intentions, and goals. Remember, you have a vision of your dream life. Does that man align with that? It's risky to base your future on the potential that you see in somebody. When it comes to the high value traits mentioned, most should be non negotiable, as they are the bare minimum. Looks, financial status, and social standing can fluctuate or fade entirely, but a person's internal values, character, and lifestyle habits are much more fixed and difficult to alter. Don't go with the flow when it comes to choosing your husband. Remember, this will not only be your life partner, but the father of your children. It's easy to get swept up in chemistry, attention, or the excitement of being pursued. This is why you must not let your emotions lead. Rather, your values should be the base of your judgment. The traits we spoke about today are meant to reinforce your standards and uphold your values. It can be very confusing setting standards in such a digital and secular society. We must work towards building ourselves to exhibit high value. The more you invest in your growth, the more confident and magnetic your presence becomes. You'll no longer shrink in rooms. You'll take up space with purpose. You must trust that someone who is truly right for you will be drawn to the strength and sincerity of the woman that you are becoming. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. Leave a comment down below on any reflections you've made or future content that you'd like to see. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Bye!